science fiction in 2026 came out swinging. We took the 10 most watched sci-fi films of the year, the ones audiences actually turned out for, and ranked them by their IMDb score, from number 10 all the way up to the best of the year. Along the way, Steven Spielberg asking what really happens the day we learn we're not alone, a YouTuber turning his own viral nightmare into a blockbuster, a legendary director's return after years away, and, at the very top, the adaptation science fiction fans had been waiting years to see. This is Sci-Fi in 2026, ranked. We start at 10 with a sharp idea the execution couldn't quite match. Mercy drops a detective, accused of murdering his own wife, into a near-future courtroom where an artificial intelligence judge gives him 90 minutes to prove his innocence. Director Timur Bekmambetov, of Wanted and Night Watch, loves a high-concept gimmick, and the algorithm decides if you live is a great one. But critics were harsh, with a 34 Metascore against a 6.2 from audiences. The premise asks a genuinely timely question: would you trust a machine with a verdict? But reviewers felt the film raced past its own best ideas as fast as that 90-minute clock was ticking. A killer hook still hunting for a deeper script. At 9, a lean genre exercise that does its job and little more. War Machine follows the final recruits of a brutal special ops boot camp who run headfirst into a mysterious, deadly force, military grit colliding with something they can't simply shoot their way out of. Patrick Hughes, who made The Expendables 3 and The Hitman's Bodyguard, knows how to stage a set piece, and it shows. A 54 Metascore and a 6.3 put it squarely in competent but forgettable territory. It's the kind of mid-budget sci-fi actioner that used to fill theaters every month and now mostly fills streaming queues, solid on a Tuesday night, gone from memory by Thursday. Nearly 90,000 votes, though, means plenty of people still showed up. Number 8 is the year's most unlikely directorial debut. Iron Lung is directed by, and stars, Mark Fishbach, better known to millions as the YouTuber Markiplier, adapting the cult horror game about a convict piloting a rusted submarine across an ocean of blood on a dead, silent moon. That it exists at all is remarkable. That it pulled in nearly $41 million proves an internet audience will follow its stars all the way to the multiplex. Critics landed at a middling 54 and audiences at 6.5, which is genuinely respectable for a first-time filmmaker working in claustrophobic, single-location dread. It's not a great film, but it's a promising start from someone Hollywood never handed the keys to. He built the car himself. At 7, the master himself. Disclosure Day is Steven Spielberg returning to the skies he's owned since Close Encounters and E.T., this time asking a colder, more modern question. What actually happens to the world the day we prove we are not alone? A 74 from critics and $106 million are numbers most directors would dream of. But held against Spielberg's own impossible standard, the 6.7 from audiences almost reads like a letdown. Reviewers admired the craft and the big, earnest ideas while quietly wishing the wonders still hit the way it used to. Even a merely very good Spielberg is more ambitious than most directors at their best. This just isn't the Spielberg that ends up on the all-time list, and at his level, that's the only bar that counts. Number 6 is the toy box blockbuster that finally, actually happened. Masters of the Universe, He-Man, Eternia, The Magic Sword, the whole 1980s Saturday morning arsenal, has been stuck in development for literally decades. Travis Knight, the animation wizard behind Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee, was the one who got it across the finish line. Critics split down the middle at 52, but audiences ran warmer at 6.9, the exact gap of a film reviewers found silly and fans found faithful. $62 million is a soft start for a hopeful franchise, but Knight's eye for spectacle and heart gives it more soul than a plastic action figure movie has any right to have. Decades of nostalgia finally paid off. Modestly, but it paid off. At 5, the year's most gloriously strange swing and its biggest box office heartbreak. Good luck, have fun, don't die marks the return of Gore Verbinski, the visual madman behind the first Pirates of the Caribbean and The Ring, after years away from the camera. A man claiming to be from the future walks into a Los Angeles diner and recruits its most disgruntled misfits for a single-night quest to stop a rogue artificial intelligence from ending the world. Critics enjoyed the chaos at 66. Audiences rated it a strong 7.0. And then it made just $8 million. That's the quiet tragedy of this list, a wildly original, star-driven sci-fi comedy from a major director that almost nobody saw on a big screen. Streaming will be far kinder to it than the box office ever was. Number 4 is a genuine internet-to-Hollywood miracle. Backrooms began as a viral web series made by Kane Parsons, a teenager filming endless, humming, liminal office hallways in his spare time. A few years later, he's directing the feature version, and it pulled in a staggering $190 million against a 77 from critics. The story follows a therapist who ventures into that infinite yellow labyrinth to rescue a patient swallowed by a dimension just beyond our own. The 7.0 from audiences hints that the leap from eerie short clips to a full-length narrative wasn't completely seamless, but honestly, the achievement is the headline. This is the first true blockbuster born entirely from an internet horror phenomenon, made by someone who, a few years ago, wasn't even old enough to drive to set. The podium opens with Prestige Apocalypse. The Bone Temple is the second chapter of Danny Boyle and Alex Garland's revived 28 Days universe, this time directed by Nia DaCosta of Candyman, who pushes the Rage Virus saga somewhere stranger and more mythic. A 91% from critics and an 81 Metascore make it one of the best-reviewed genre films of the entire year, science fiction or otherwise. The catch, as ever in 2026, is the box office, just $25 million, a fraction of what a franchise this acclaimed should command. It's the theme of the whole list, the smartest films finding the smallest crowds. This one will be discovered late on streaming, and it will age beautifully the moment audiences catch up to it. At number 2, the year's biggest surprise, and its only animated entry. Hoppers comes from Daniel Choe, the creator of the beloved cartoon We Bare Bears, and its premise is pure high-concept sci-fi for all ages. A 19-year-old animal lover downloads her own consciousness into a robotic beaver to infiltrate and finally understand the natural world. A 94% from critics ties it for the best-reviewed film on this entire list, and $164 million makes it one of the year's genuine hits. That a bright, funny animated movie about a cyborg beaver outscored Spielberg and outgrossed almost everyone else here is the most 2026 thing imaginable. It's the lesson the industry keeps relearning. Never, ever bet against smart animation. And at number 1, not just the best-reviewed sci-fi of the year, but the rare blockbuster that critics, audiences, and the box office all agreed on completely. Project Hail Mary adapts the novel by Andy Weir, the mind behind The Martian, and it runs on the same irresistible formula. One stranded man, one impossible problem, and science itself as the hero. A schoolteacher wakes alone on a spaceship with no memory, slowly realizing he is humanity's last hope against something quietly extinguishing the sun, and that survival depends on the most unexpected friendship in the galaxy. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller of Spider-Man. Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie, it earned a 94 from critics, an 8.3 from a third of a million voters, and $341 million worldwide. That is the once-in-a-decade trifecta, smart, crowd-pleasing, and massive. In a year of giant swings, this is the one that connected. The best science fiction film of 2026, and it isn't close. Here's the full slate, side by side, and it tells the real story of science fiction in 2026. A genre with no true disasters and no runaway consensus classic. A tight, healthy field bunched between 6 and 8. Project Hail Mary sits alone at the top, the only film to clear an 8. Below it, a fascinating pileup, an animated beaver movie, a Rage Virus sequel, a Backrooms blockbuster, and a Spielberg picture all within a single point of one another. What jumps out is how loosely box office tracked quality. The two best-reviewed films, Project Hail Mary and Hoppers, were also two of the biggest hits. Yet right behind them sit acclaimed movies almost nobody saw in a theater. A good year for the genre. An uneven year for the people who made the very best of it. A couple more worth flagging on your way out. Supergirl gave the DC Universe a fresh interstellar spin and landed a respectable 6.1 in cold storage. A fungus outbreak thriller written by the man who wrote Jurassic Park earned a strong 81% from critics that almost nobody saw. That was science fiction in 2026, one masterpiece, a stack of ambitious hits, and a genre swinging bigger than it has in years. Which one do you think the voters ranked too high, and which one got robbed? Tell us in the comments. And if this helped you find your next watch, a like and a subscribe genuinely help the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next ranking.